day, everyone. This is Insight on God's Words, and it's another time again. But before I start today, I would love to pour out my mind on the encounter I had today. Truly, I was inspired to say a message, but I don't know what to say, and that's how it's always been. So I took my Bible, and I don't still know what to say. So I took my Bible and I said, Holy Spirit, take over. I don't know what you want to pass across, but I trust you as you have always been doing. All my messages, they are always purely inspired. And so I was directed to Psalms chapter 97. And lo and behold, the Holy Spirit started with a Bible verse. And before I know it, it took me round and round, and it developed a message that if I truly want to speak, or if a divine preacher, I've not gotten to that stage, really want to preach about that topic, no, it is purely inspired. So now, that was my encounter I had today, and that's what we'll be going through today. So please prepare to be blessed, but more prepare to benefit from the message because it's purely inspired. Stay tuned. I'm reading from Psalms chapter 94. I think in my introduction I made a mistake. So I'm reading from Psalms chapter 94, verse 16. Who will arise? Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? When I first read that place, I didn't understand why the Holy Spirit is asking me to read. Okay, I went back to read from the beginning, and I discovered that God Himself is talking in this Bible verse. Then when I got to 16 again, I read it and He said, who will rise up for me? Who will rise up for me? Using the plural who is a personification that is asking directly now who, a person, who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity. It's very certain that God is a spirit. The Bible says God is a spirit, and he who must worship him in spirit and in truth. When we know that our Father is a spirit, how do we deal with us? Surely there must be someone available for him to use. Now it's asking us the question, now who will rise up? Who? It's very touching. God asking that question, who will rise up? It's basically saying that so many of us, we only know how to complain. We complain about the economy, we complain about the way politics run in the country, we complain about the church doctrines, we complain about different things that are going on in different sections, but we are not ready to make the correction. All what we know how to do is to complain, to make our points known. But God here is asking, who will rise up for me against the evil, against all these things you are complaining? Who is ready to do the work? Who is ready that says, Lord, I'm available, use me? Lo and behold, he searched and he found no one. The world of our today has turned to something else, that no one is basically available for God's use. No one is saying, God, use me for this purpose. No one is saying, God, I'm available to make correction. So how then are we going to survive? Where will the miracle come from? Where will our help come from? According to Psalms 121, it said, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills. From where cometh my help? My help will come from the Lord. Will the Lord come down like the way you watch in the Yoruba movies? Will he jump down from heaven and save us? He's going to use someone. But who will rise up? Who is ready for God to use? Who is ready to say, I'm available, use me? I don't know. But let's see what God has for us today. God bless you. Yes. Who will rise up? Who is ready to rise up to be used by God? Don't let us forget that God is a respecter of person, in the sense that He cherishes your opinion, in the sense that He won't force you, He will only suggest. Everybody who was used by the Bible, they made a personal decisions to follow Christ. And let's consider examples of people who God used in the Bible, who rose up for God's use, who rose up for God's purpose in the Bible. We'll be starting with Moses very quickly. Moses, and let's consider Exodus chapter 3, verse 1 to 4. Now, Moses kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of God, even to Horeb. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. Verse 3, and Moses said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called unto him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here am I. This is proof enough to know that there is a personal decision on the part of the person who is ready to be used by God to follow him. Moses was not aware what was happening. He saw a bush burning with fire, but the bush was not consumed. And he heard God called him out of the bush, and he said, Here am I. How many of you are ready to say that statement, Here am I? How many of you are ready to answer the call of God upon your life? How many of you am I ready? Are you ready to be used for God's purpose? Moses answered the call, Here am I, use me. That doesn't mean, Here I am, use me. Here I am, use me. How many of us are ready to be used by God? And that is why every day God is searching. We cry for solution, but no one is ready to be used. How will the solution come? And God is saying in that Psalms that we started with, that who will rise up for me? Who will rise up in his power and do exploits? Who will rise up and fight? We are expecting God to come down in his glory to fight for us. He will have to use someone. So who will he use? Let's consider another example. And we are going to be considering Gideon. I'm in the book of Judges chapter 6, verse 11. There came an angel of the Lord and sat under an oak which was in Ophrah, that pertained unto Joash the Abiezrite, and his son Gideon threshed wheat by the winepress to hide it from the Midianites. And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him and said unto him, The Lord is with thee, thou mighty man of valor. And Gideon said unto him, O my Lord, if the Lord be with us, why then is all this befalling us? And where be all these miracles which our fathers told us of, saying, Did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? But now the Lord has forsaken us, and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites. And the Lord looked upon him, and said, Go in this thy might, and thou shalt save Israel from the hands of the Midianites. Have not I sent thee? With a question mark. So God has sent Gideon a message and he was not even aware. And when the angel of the Lord appeared unto him, all he was doing was asking questions, just like the way we are doing. He was saying, why? Why do you allow all this to befall us? We have heard stories of how you helped our fathers. We have heard stories of what our forefathers did, the miracles they experienced. Why are these things happening to us? Where is the miracles of before? And the same way you are asking, in the times of our forefathers, in the times of Christianity when it was still hot, we had miracles happening, we heard a lot of things. And now, where is the miracle of today? Why is everything befalling us and it seems like God is not there? And the Lord answered him and said, you don't need to ask me all these questions. Go in this your mind. You don't need to ask me all this. Have I not sent thee? Go in this your minds and you shall overcome. So the Lord is saying to someone also that you need to go in his mind because he has sent you for that purpose. Stop asking questions. You can continue to ask the question from today to tomorrow. The answers will not come because the sacrifices those our forefathers paid, the miracles was happening. No one is ready to pay the sacrifices. So many forgot that they had family. So many forgot of their achievement. They will go into the bush. Stand with God for hours, pray, revive us. And they made great exploits. But who is ready to do that today? Who? So that is why there is a miracle. Just like Gideon was asking. But God is not interested in your question. He said, go in this your mind. Take a step. Have I not sent thee? He has sent you. He has sent me. But no one is ready to go. That's why he's asking the way he asks in that psalm. That is our main text. Who is ready to rise up for me? Who is ready to rise up against the evildoers? Who? We have not discovered. People will discover before the end of this video. So let's consider the next person. Briefly, let's consider the third person. And I'm in the book of Numbers chapter 27. Numbers chapter 27 verse 18. And now in this story, the story of Joshua. Let's see. He said, and the Lord said unto Moses, take thee Joshua, the son of Nun, a man in whom is the Spirit, and lay thy hand upon him, and set him before Eleazar the priest, and before all the congregation, and give him a charge in their sight. Let's stop there. It's not about the numerous Bible verse we read, but let's pick the point there. Moses appointed Joshua based on the instruction of God, and God is satisfying that his spirit is in him. And he told him to set him before the congregation, set him before the priest, because he has an assignment to do for Christ. Now, God instructed Moses, but Joshua accepted the instruction of God. He might as well decide that no, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not going. No, I'm not standing in gap. Look at the age difference between Moses and Joshua. Is there no other people God can use? Yet, he selected Joshua. Fine. But Joshua accepted the purpose of God for his life. Now, why are you here to accept the purpose of God for your life? Who is then ready? Who is ready to rise up and accomplish the plans of God for us? Who will God send? He has been searching and is asking, who will rise up for me? Who is going to represent me on this earth? God is a spirit. Who will rise up for me? Who will go in my mind? It's beyond what I can explain more than this. You need spiritual understanding and you need deep insights to understand that No one is ready, but someone must be ready, or else we'll continue to remain in our complaints. Are you ready? Am I ready? Let's check what God has again for us. Answering the question that I asked the Holy Spirit. You said, God, you are looking for those that will rise up to do your purpose. What about numerous people doing your work now? Are they not doing your work? Are you not the one that called them? The famous ministers, pastors, prophets that we are hearing, evangelists, are you not the one that called them? Are they not doing your purpose? Why do you need more people? Okay, and the Holy Spirit led me to Ezekiel chapter 34. And he explained a lot of things that is wrong and why you need to grow new set of people. Why you need to develop new set of people to rise up and fight against the evildoers. Ezekiel 34, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them, Thou sayest the Lord God unto the shepherds, Woe be to the shepherds of Israel, that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherd feed the flocks? You eat the fat, and you clothe you with the wool. You kill them that are fed, but you feed not the flock. Here are the conditions of those who think have been called to do the purpose. All they do is to get fat. They fatten their pockets. They get fat, but they do not feed the flocks. You know they are acting as God, so they are the shepherds. They are meant to take care of all the sheep. But what do? They feed on us. We turn to pray in their hands. They fill their pockets with our little earnings, and they forgot the divine assignment of God. And that is why God is saying, Woe unto them, because the shepherds of nowadays do not feed their flocks. No, but they send them out into the lions' den to be eaten by the wolves. And now that is why there is need for God to raise new generations that will carry out His purpose. The ministers of today, the pastors and everyone, they have forgotten their purpose on the way. The sheep have suffered in their hands. There is no spiritual growth, nothing to help them. They even still feed on us, and we turn to pray. They use their spiritual intelligence against us, and now we suffer at their hands. Now, there is need for God to raise up new people. Are you ready to be used? To be used by God. This is a great message charging us that the more we tarry, the more solution tarries. The more every one of us is saying, no, I'm not going to be useful, I'm not going to be useful, I'm not going to be useful, the more difficult our solution gets to. Now look at those ministers. The little one of them still holding on to the faith. Look at them. When it was Moses' turn to go, he handed over to Joshua. Looking at the world of today, where are the people they want to hand over to? The work of God has now turned to the work that you use your physical qualification before you can be appointed. The work of God now turned to the work that you need your physical certificates that does not even guarantee your salvation before you can be employed as a pastor, as a minister. And someone who is not educated, you believe God does not call you. He has not been called by God. We have missed it in so many ways. We churches of today are now obeyers of law. We set up church doctrines. And when another Christian who does not believe in your church doctrine, you come across such, you cast them as a sinner and say they are all going to hell. Then what is the purpose of Christ coming to the world? Who did Christ come to save? Who did He come to redeem? Who? If everyone is going to hell, because I'm not putting on the earring and I see a fellow person wearing it, I say he's a sinner, you are going to hell. What is the purpose of Christ coming to the world? God is love. And that is where we have lacked in this world. He said, love God and love your neighbor as yourself. When you love God, you'll be able to love your neighbor as yourself. God is not a follower of law. Jesus Christ did not come so that you can follow the law. He came to redeem us. He came to establish the law, and he gave us just two main laws. He said we should love God and we should love our neighbor as ourselves. When you know the meaning of love, you will know that this earth is very little. Is very little. It's nothing to put on your head about, because this world is a small world. And when we see everyone as a sinner, then who are you, the righteous one? We are deceiving ourselves. We have even been deceiving ourselves for a long time. The church that is supposed to be a place of safety and protection is now a place where the sheep cries. It's now a place where the sheep suffers. So who is ready to be used? Are you ready to be used? Are you really ready to be used? I hope this message ministers to you, because I'm going to be ending with a question mark. Are you ready to be used? Am I ready to be used? Let everyone turn back to God and stop following your church doctrine and your pastor doctrine. Go back to God and answer his call before it's too late, so that we can revive our nation, so that we can revive the church, because we need a revival. But who will God use? I wish I know. Please share this message to everyone around you. We need to be revived. We need to make ourselves available for its use. Make yourself available while I make myself available, and the world will be a better place. God bless you.